You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
I'm Tom Cock. Well, in the old days, if you're making a stew, they used to say, put all the ingredients in there and then add a dash of patience. And now, as many of you know who are foodies, the good news is you can put all those ingredients in there and get your stew in about 20 or 30 minutes. Pretty astounding. What's he talking about? Well, this is not an advertisement for Instapot, even though my good friend Don McDonald got me one recently, and I made a chili for my wife, and it took literally about 15 minutes. It was astounding. This pressure cooker, you put everything in there, and it goes, you're ready to go. So thank you again, Don, for that. Don does most of the cooking in his household, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I do most of the cooking in my household. So having something new is absolutely terrific. But it reminded me of investing because, you know, sometimes you got to put all those ingredients in there and you got to be a little patient. You got to wait. I mean, and this chili I made had 23 ingredients. 23. I couldn't believe all the different types of beans and the different types of spices and the turkey meat and all. I mean, all this stuff on and on and on. Big recipe. And then when you put it in there, it worked well together. In fact, my wife, I don't think has eaten anything except that in like the last 4 days. But your portfolio should be like that great chili or stew. It needs to have a lot of ingredients. And most of you, sadly, do not. Yes, you mostly hold U.S. large companies because they're easy to buy. You own the S&P 500 and you feel diversified. But the S&P 500 is mainly large U.S. growth kind of companies. The index more and more dominated. You already know the names by names like Microsoft and Amazon, Apple et al. You also need to have U.S. large value companies, those firms that have not done as well as the growth ones over the last few years. You also need to have U.S. small company growth companies. You also need to have U.S. small value companies. Then you got to do the same thing internationally. You got to have international large companies that are considered growth, large companies that are considered value, international small companies that are considered growth and value. And then these other parts of the portfolio that might make you uncomfortable, emerging markets, which have been on a wild seesaw this last 10 days or so with the coronavirus outbreak, right? And have not had a very good 10 years as well. Then you should have a sprinkling of real estate investment trusts in there. No, not the non-traded type. You can own a very fine REIT fund from Vanguard, for example. Then on the fixed income side, you got to have a little variety there, right? You should have sort of medium duration and short duration U.S. government bonds, and then a thing called TIPS, Treasury Inflation Protected Securities. You put it all in the pressure cooker, and boy, has it ever been a pressure cooker, right? With what's going on globally, certainly with politics and economics, and it feels like the steam is coming off there at any time, but you got to let it cook properly, because even those little ingredients can have a big impact. That cayenne you put in there can just add a touch of flavor that's going to, in this case, add a bit to your returns. I'm talking about emerging markets there, not the cayenne. So a great portfolio has many ingredients. And yes, just like the old days with the stew, you have to be patient. You have to take it out slowly. You have to eat it slowly and enjoy it. And over the long haul, that's been the best way to invest. I'm Tom Cock.
Talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. That's a wrap.